Internal Revenue Service IRS Tax News. Follow the IRS on social media and sign up for E-News subscriptions for the latest IRS news. COVID tax tip 2021-61 May 4th, 2021. Taxpayers, businesses, tax professionals, and others can follow the agency's official social media accounts and email subscription lists to get urgent information on economic impact payments and other tax information. So you could be an IRS or Internal Revenue Service groupie like me here and follow their stuff on get their newsletter and basically follow their social media stuff and whatnot. So here's how that works. These platforms provide the latest alerts and information on various tax topics, including tax relief related to COVID-19. These platforms are especially important right now. Changes to filing and payment deadlines, coupled with new business credits and economic impact payments, make these free and reliable communications crucial for anyone wanting the latest information. So the IRS is trying to put this stuff out there. Obviously, the laws are changing with everything that's happening at this point in time. One of the tools that the government has, a big tool that the government has to kind of deal with the issues and the downturn in the economy and COVID-19 and all that kind of relief stuff, is the IRS, the tax code, and those things therefore are changing. So it could be useful to get the newsletters and whatnot from the IRS, possibly even if you're not someone that normally would do that. At some point in time, hopefully it'll go back down to kind of normal kind of news where the IRS doesn't have changes happening all the time, because you would kind of like the tax code to be somewhat consistent over time. But right now, it's moving around, and if you want to follow along with the movements, it's quite interesting. You've got a lot of alternatives to do so here. IRS social media platforms. The IRS uses several social media tools, including Twitter. So I don't follow them on Twitter here, but apparently you can. I'm not a big Twitter user, so if anybody does follow them on Twitter and finds it useful, I'd be kind of interested to know that and see if you get any big benefit from Twitter following on the IRS. But they have taxpayers, businesses, and tax professionals can follow the IRS handles for up to the minute announcement, tips, and alerts in English and Spanish. So there's links to the taxpayers, the businesses, and tax professionals. They also have Facebook. Again, I'm not following them on Facebook either. So if anybody has any experience, if they get more information from a Facebook post than like the emails or newsletters, which are the main things that I look at here, then let me know. I'd be interested to know that. So news and information for everyone, also available in Spanish on Facebook. And then they have Instagram. So again, I don't follow them on Instagram because I would think that would be like pictures and not words, which I'm not sure they can get a whole lot of information out on that way, but maybe. So if anybody is getting good information from the IRS that I'm kind of missing, or if I'm not understanding that, then let me know in the comments. Maybe there's some good stuff I'm missing on Instagram from the Internal Revenue Service. So the IRS Instagram accounts share taxpayer-friendly information. And then they have YouTube, and that kind of makes sense to me. I don't follow them on YouTube either too much, but every once in a while I go over there to one of their links that they have to a later YouTube video. So the IRS offers free video channels. They have one in English, Multilingual, and American Sign Language. I would think these would be good for instructional videos. There's sometimes when we go over the tax news, I'm not thinking these would be as good for the latest news, right? They would be good for, if you have a particular topic that the IRS has put into a YouTube channel to kind of show you how something works, then I would think that would be a good place to go for the YouTube. So oftentimes I would think that the news is where you get the latest information and then basically drive to kind of the YouTube channel and whatnot if you want to get more detail on a particular activity or how to do a particular thing. But again, if anybody has another opinion on that, let me know, because I'm not an expert on the IRS YouTube channel either. So then they have LinkedIn. The IRS shares key agency communications and job opportunities. So if you're looking for job opportunities with the IRS or following them on that level, I think clearly LinkedIn would be a good place to go. I don't follow them on LinkedIn either. I'm not looking to get employment at the IRS, but that could be, if anybody's finding good opportunities there. Again, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know. So the agency continues increase multilingual outreach of social media. For example, IRS has created individual Twitter moments in 6 languages, highlights key messages in Spanish, Vietnamese, Russian, Korean, Haitian, Creole, and simplified Chinese. So there's links to those items here, those languages. When using social media, connect with the IRS. People should verify that they're following official accounts. So note that obviously when you're looking at a YouTube account or a Twitter account or something like that, you want to make sure that if you're trying to contact the IRS themselves, that you're contacting the IRS themselves. And when you're talking about someone's opinion about the IRS or something like that, that you understand that you're not talking to the IRS there, you're talking about someone who has some kind of opinion about something about the IRS. So taxpayers are urged not to reply to the IRS direct message on social media asking for personal or financial information. These are common scams that try to lure taxpayers on social media platforms or with unsolicited emails, texts, or calls. I think this is kind of one of the unintended consequences of the IRS trying to get more news out on some of these other platforms like a Twitter or Facebook or YouTube and whatnot. Then, it opens up the door a little bit for people to then say, oh, yeah, the IRS does go on Facebook and Twitter, right? Maybe they would send me a tweet or a Facebook message asking me for information or for taxes and whatnot. And the IRS doesn't typically do that. They're expanding in these areas for informational purposes. But if they're contacting you about some tax-related issue, they're pretty old-fashioned on that for the most part. They'll send a letter. They're not going to send a tweet or a Facebook message or something like that generally. But I think that's one of the kind of unintended consequences of jumping into these social media type of areas. But I think the pros outweigh the cons if they can get more information out there. So the IRS also has a free mobile app, which is the IRS To Go. I haven't even downloaded that either, although I've read about it a lot. So again, if anybody has experience with the Irs To Go app and they find that to be useful, I'd like to hear about that. I currently don't use it. I just don't use it, but I'd be interested to hear about that. So where taxpayers can check their refund status, pay taxes, find free tax help, watch IRS YouTube videos, and get daily tax tips. So the Irs To Go app is available from the Google Play Store for Android devices or from the Apple App Store for Apple devices. It is available in both English and Spanish. So get automatic updates by email. So I get these. This is something I do. This is in my time here. I do emails. I know about emails. So the Irs E-News Subscription service issues tax information by email for many different audiences. It provides tips, tools, and helpful material of interest to taxpayers and organizations. The IRS offers subscription service tailored to tax exempt and government entities, small and large businesses, and as well as individuals. The service is easy to use. Anyone can sign up by visiting E-News Subscription. So that one I think is quite relevant, right? You basically sign up to their newsletter and get relevant information. If you want to sign up to our newsletter, we have a newsletter too. If you want to sign up for that. But I signed up for their newsletter. The Irs E-News option includes Irs Outreach Connection. This subscription offering delivers up-to-date materials for tax professionals and partner groups inside and outside the tax community. The material for Outreach Connection is specifically designed so subscribers can share the material with their clients or members through email, social media, internal newsletters, emails, or external websites. Irs Tax Tips. These brief, concise tips in plain language cover a wide range of topics of general interest to taxpayers. I think this right here, what we're reading, is a taxpayer tip. So if you find this tip helpful, then you can check those out. You can get tips emailed to you all the time. So they include the latest on tax scams, tax reform, tax deductions, filing extensions, and amending returns. IRS tax tips, there's the links to that here, are distributed daily during tax season and periodically through the year. Irs Newswire. Subscribers of the Irs Newswire, there's a link to that here, receive news releases the day they are issued. So again, that seems more relevant to me than a tweet for the daily news. because you would, I don't think that normally the tax law to me, like the law is kind of long and it's hard to fit into a tweet, the nuance of a law. So in any case, I would think the IRS newsletter would be better than a tweet, but maybe the tweet could link to the newsletter, so maybe that would be fine. But I get the newsletter too. So these cover a wide range of tax administration issues ranging from breaking news to details related to legal guidance. IRS News in Spanish, Notices del IRS en Español. Readers get IRS news releases, tax tips, and updates in Spanish as they are released. Subscribe at Noticias del IRS en Español. I probably didn't say that too well, but there's a link to that here as well. Email for tax professionals includes a weekly roundup of news releases and legal guidance specifically designed for tax professional community. Subscribing the e-news for tax professionals gets tax pros a weekly summary topically delivered on Friday afternoons. So all this great stuff, it'll just flood your email inbox with wonderful things you can look forward to throughout the week, and you can sign up for them here if you want, as well as follow along on the Twitter and the Facebook and the YouTube and whatnot. So there's links to all that wonderful stuff here. There'll be a link to this in the description.